Hey folks, how you guys doing? I keep mislabeling the number of episodes that we're on. I'm noticing that as a flaw, but not a big problem with anything. We'll fix the. I think we're at episode 597 now, maybe 96. I don't recall which one exactly. Let's do a mic check here real quick, just to make sure my sound's coming through okay. Let's do a mic check here real quick, just to make sure. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let's drop that down there so it keeps out of the way. I'm just going to grab my link here real quick and do a social media post, and then we'll get started here. We're going to do some artwork today. We're creating an adventure in the world of Eberron for Dungeons & Dragons using the 5e24 rules. Straighten my camera out. Looks okay. So if you're new to the channel, you can skip ahead like 20 seconds and I'll be there with you. But otherwise, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. And so I've been a DM since 1987. I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. I've been an Eberron enthusiast since 2004. And I've been creating content on DMsGuild for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition since 2018. This is an adventure. I haven't created anything for Eberron or published an adventure yet, so I'm publishing an Eberron adventure to take care of both of those at the same time. So Crystals of Mabar, we're fighting undead necromancers and demons in the Carnwood, which is on the continent of Corvair in the nation of Karnath. That was the book cover. We're currently doing our Creatures Compendium. We have our Caneloth here, and hold on. I could swear I saw Mesoloth earlier when I was reviewing text. Search for Mesoloth and replace with Caneloth. List of stuff that I'm working on right now off screen. We have for the monster tokens left. We're going to create the Blood Golem today. I'm going to revise and change the Otiug, the Roper, the Spectral Knight. We need a new illustration for the Otroloth Commander. We need an illustration for the Volpina Creeper. And I want to do an illustration of a Sturge Mob. So that's 7 illustrations that we have left in the book, and then we have the little texture corners to take a look at. This is a 16 by 9 format. You can see how elegantly a stat block for a monster fits in this 5.5 inch wide, 9 inch tall, 9 inch tall space here. And I'm using a 12-point font. If I'd used an 11 or a 10-point font, I would have been able to fit in a lot more. But notice if the creature's too big, I can just take up 2 columns. So that makes it really, really easy for me to be able to keep everything flowing through. But I don't like the shape. I don't like the shape that I have, so I'm going to mess around with that. Just to sew up the intro here, if you find today educational, fun, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. And just to do a self-promo here real quick, here's a bunch of books I've created on the DMsGuild for Dungeons & Dragons. They're all free previews. They're chock full of artwork that I've produced specifically for those books. As well as just the ideas in general. If you're an RPG or a D&D enthusiast, check them out. I think I have a unique approach towards the D&D game engine in general. So, but you be the judge. Check it out for yourself. I'm not happy in this instance with this L shape here. This is normally like in the Caneloth over here. I'm fine with it just snuggling into whatever space I can cram here, but I wanted to do a larger illustration for this piece because the Blood Golem is one of the final boss fights. So I wanted to give it a little bit more love and attention. So I'm going to drop this out of the way here. I'm going to duplicate this text layer here, and let's see. I'm just going to rearrange it a little bit. So we're going to cut. I'm just going to do some surgery here, just to see how it looks. My goal is to flatten out these lines so the text goes all the way across the column here to hopefully free up more of a square space down here for us to drop our golem into. So, and if that works, See, it wouldn't work in this instance here because of how squatted it is. It looks a little crammed, but I think I'm okay with that. Actually, let's mess around with this size here real quick, just to drop it down a little bit. There, it's a little squish. I like this illustration a lot. I'm really happy with this one. This guy turned out fucking great. Really like that. But okay, great. So let's get over here and fix this one. Let's just drop a bubble around here and cut this one out and paste it. And then I'm going to drop that over. There we go. Cut paste here. Let's see. I think I should be able to get this block of text in across the way. Let's see. Cut, paste. Good. Like that. Then here. Cut, paste. See if this fits. Yeah, it does. So this should work out. I don't know how much of an advantage this is going to give us, but it's going to. It's going to give us something, and I'll take it. So we're just experimenting with the space. All of them have had this one format we've used for the entire monster manual, but in this instance, I'm breaking that format just to see if it works. Bring this up to here. And if it works, then we'll drop down into the actual text and change it after the fact. And be able to continue on with our illustration. If it doesn't work, then I guess we just go back to the previous format and leave it there. And carry on, wiser for the effort. That all fits very nicely. Here. Oh, this is going to work out. This should be just fine. Super do, guys. We done it. We done did do it. Blood Golem doesn't speak any languages. So yeah, we can condense that block there. Now we have this open square space here that we can use to build our golem with. So looks like this jives. I'm really happy about that. What's going on down here? Yeah. This is all gonna work. Sorry, I'm hesitating. I don't know why. Merge down. Merge those layers. Thank you. Merge. There. And Yeah, this works. Okay, cool. So I can let that sit. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Now we can move forward with free transform. Hey, what's going on? Everything's fine. I want to keep it in a square because it's gonna. This occupies a huge space. The blood golem. Oh wait, I can up its size a little bit over here by dipping down into the traits text. There. Is that gonna sit okay? I think so. Science points. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so that's the space we have to play with. Let's play with that space. We're going to drop down the opacity here, and the blood golem is minus the Nexus blood golem forms from the sacrificed bodies and residual necrotic energy left unused when the Eye of Mabar ritual is disrupted. This lumbering mass of terror is powered by the vile vigor from the depths of Mabar. So if you are able to pull the Eye of Mabar out of the chrysalis and the nexus of the manifest zone and run with it, basically the energy of the ritual coalesces into this golem and will chase after you to try to take the eye from you. So you can fight the golem and kill it. It'll eventually run out of steam on its own and just die. But the characters don't know that when you start. But it's got long, grabby tentacles and lots of grappling and slowing abilities. Its game is to get the Eye of Mabar from whoever grabbed it and ran. Everyone else's game should be keep the eye from the golem. If the golem gets the eye, it will go back to the nexus and then coalesce its energy into it'll form whatever level of undead that it can. If the ritual had completed, it would have been an Ultraloth, which is a CR12 daemon. With the failed ritual, the best it can pull off at this point is the Canoloth. And Canoloth demons are like CR5 creatures, so it's up to the DM. Like, is a team super strong? Sure, let's hit them with an Ultraloth. Why not? Are they really beat up because they've slogged through a bunch of shit and they're running out of steam? Then the Canoloth should be a decent challenge for them. But once they kill the creature, they get the eye and they can do whatever they want with it. So I'm going to just drop this down here, and so it's basically just a bundle of necrotic energy, tentacles, and corpses. So we're basically going to be borrowing from the picture that I completed yesterday, and that is currently off screen. Let me. Oh yeah, there's two things. I also want the living graves, so I'm going to drop this out of the way for a moment. Let's go down 3? Is this where it's at? No, wrong direction. Blood golem here, living mass grave. There we go. I could probably do a better illustration, like environmental thing to put this into, but I'm just gonna grab this real quick just for color references. I'm going to copy here. And then paste here as my reference. REF. And let's go fetch that piece that I finished yesterday. Art. Production 9798. Let's just pop open. It's a big file. Give it a second. Come on, baby. Click. There we go. And this is the piece that we did yesterday. there and drop the text. There, I can go grab this. I don't need to do it that way. Copy, and then so yeah, we got these two. These are the two that I'll use my color references for. This was a fun piece to do. I like how this texture turned out down here. I'm happy with that. And this border here that's being painted over, it'll ultimately be on top of the illustration, so it acts as a frame. But some Vulpina growing here in the background amongst the crystallized ground. Again, this edge will clip along here, so you won't see the base. Vulpina gives off the poisonous mist that ends up filling up the entire area. This was a fun piece to build. This is a gate seal that the druid, the gatekeeper druids give your characters. If you're using the gatekeeper plot hook, they know that this Nexus ritual thing is happening, and it's creating a manifest zone of Mabar, which it should not be able to do, but it is. So you get this gate seal. If you throw it at the Nexus, it's not even a combat. It's just all you gotta do is just flick a stone. It starts off as a little pebble, like a little tile, and if it hits the Nexus zone, it expands out into a large size gate seal, which is tons of rock. So Solzu the Necromancer trying to use the Eye of Mabar and the Nexus Chrysalis that formed as a result of the ritual, and this is the swarm of necrotic, basically like a Avard's black tentacles that surrounds and protects the Nexus while it's being created. And this is where all the necrotic energy goes, and when you sacrifice a human life or sentient life to the ritual, it gets grabbed by these tentacles and dragged into the Nexus and then basically necrotized till they're dead. Your characters will have that threat. If you start fighting around this thing, they could grab their characters and pull them in and start killing them with necrotic energy. But you hit it, it destroys the chrysalis, and the manifest zone collapses. So this is the illustration that we made for that. And if you don't have the gate seal stone, you have to slog it out yourself. You have to fight your way through it. So if you are able to stab through and shatter the chrysalis, you can get to Solzu and the Eye of Mabar. And if you take the artifact away from the chrysalis, all this necrotic energy coalesces into the blood golem, and then it chases after you to go get the eye. So it's logical progression. This illustration is actually like comes later in the book than where this monster manual section is at. So you'll see the blood golem, and you'll see the living grave before you get to here. But the Nexus, there's multiple, like maybe 20 people that have been sacrificed to this thing. Anywhere from 20 to like 45 people have been sacrificed. So it'll have this elements of this mass grave with the tentacle horror going on with for the golem. So there you go. So that's probably, I think I've probably talked about it enough, but I really like this illustration, so I wanted to show it off again for you guys real quick. But let's get this out of the way for now. We don't need it anymore. And hey, Steph. And let's start off with something fairly neutral. I'm going to actually go with this color here as our base, just to start getting a mass laid down. I'm not specifically worrying about line art right now. Maybe I should, but I'm not. Glurb, 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 glurb. I'm just gonna lay this in here for now. I honestly don't know what the hell I'm doing. But that's the fun of it, right? Not knowing what the hell we're going to do. That's the adventure of art. I think I'm just kind of laying this in here to create, just to define the space a little bit. I'm going to paint over this with black tentacles and bloodiness and bloody blah. But yeah, I don't know why I'm starting it off this way. It's just, this is what the muse wants me to do. The journey, yep, that's right. If I was concerned about the destination more so than the journey, it wouldn't have taken me 600 episodes to create this adventure. That still is blowing my mind. We're like at episode like 590. It's not 593. I forgot to update the numbers. Like 596 or something. So next week we should be clipping over into episode 600 of creating the assets for this adventure. All the maps, all the tokens, all the illustrations inside the book, all the assets, all of the stuff. So it's been a hell of a journey. Something roughly like that. So this is where we'll start, just so we know what our space is. It's, well, I mean, it's a proof of concept, right? I talk about this, like, art is really lonely, so streaming would have driven me mad if I had done this on my own without like being able to communicate with anybody regularly. This would have driven me crazy. I could not have done it. Let's grab this here, and sure. No, let's go with this color for now, just something darker. We're gonna start just building up a base, just seeing if I can get a cool looking aesthetic shape, something that's just aesthetically pleasing, sufficiently eldritch horror. The other thing was ultimately, I think I want to do someday. I hope to do Kickstarter projects. I need a larger audience than I have, so creating stuff on stream allows me to share with you guys what it is that I'm doing, and for those of us that think this stuff is cool, stick around, maybe pick up a book or two to help support the dream. But ultimately, I just need numbers up so that when I do decide to do Kickstarters, A, we're building an audience of folks that like my ideas and my art, so would be hopefully willing to support it if it happened. But B, also to use this process as a tour de force, as it were, to demonstrate that if I do a Kickstarter project, what level of commitment to a project do I have when I decide I want to do a project? Well, this is a 600 episode series of me making one of my products. So I can do this again with any other number of books that I do in the future. So if I do a Kickstarter project, like here's thousands of hours of proof that I have the gumption to get the thing done. Because I build the games here on stream, and then I role play. We play test them on my Discord server, and then I flesh them out into actual text, get the editing taken care of, and then once the editing's done, do the page layout, and whatever gaps are left in the text on the pages from the laying out. That's where we put all of our illustrations, and then we just keep doing illustrations until the book is done. So that is how we do. I think I'm going to nitpick about this a little bit less right now, and just let's get a flow state going, and just drop some ideas in here. So we have a little line art swirl here, and that's a neat little swirl, but it's very much I was just filling space with that squiggle mess. I need to actually flesh out what it is we have going on here. So I think I want to have like a big mass here. Did my music stop again? Dab Haggett. Thank you. Boop. So you got 7 token illustrations like this. They typically, it looks like they take anywhere from 1 to 3-ish sessions for me to complete. So we're just gonna build this one out. We'll start with the squirming squirming pile of necrotic tentacles. So we're basically using like the base of this and the living grave. So like put a living grave on a mass of writhing tentacles, and that's your blood golem. But I don't want to just cut this and paste it into place here. We got to rebuild it from scratch. But these are the two components. Hold on, let's do it like we did it like this. Yeah, basically something like that. That's what we're looking to do. But, you know, a little bit more elegantly than that. But yeah, that's essentially what we're doing right now. Line art, background, there. The size huge? Yeah, it's huge. So it's 15 feet. It's a 15-foot area that it covers. Like that. Squiggle out like this. Yeah, let's just be. I'm going to switch to the guitar pick. Something like that. Let's just go off the page or whatever. In the sinkhole challenge of the in the Manifest Zone swamp, then you'll have some familiarity with this already. So it's not a bad if you want. The team may end up fighting the Blood Golem whether they like it or not, depending on how they decide to get the Eye of Mabar, the artifact, out of the Nexus crystal. So that's on the team. Whatever resources or ideas they come up with, most of them should work just fine. Because the actual challenge isn't disrupting the ritual. It's getting to the ritual, disrupting it, and then dealing with the fallout of what gets created from that ritual. So the team has plenty of latitude on solutions that they want to come up with to defeat the necromancers. Go there. I see text. Hold on, I'll catch up with you in a second. That. Chat disconnected. Successfully reconnected. Oh boy. Thanks for that important message. I guess my internet's being a little dodgy today. Noted. Go like that. Then we can start adding a mass in here. Like that. See, that's a fun shape. Now I can start adding corpses in to this mass here to help clear it up. But I like the general shape of this. Yeah, this will work. Little curves like that should be fine down here. There we go. Man, we could push this line art. This line art could end up becoming useful depending on how the thing builds, but a lot of times when we're doing stuff, the little swirly squiggles that I make for my initial impressions can often come back in and create structure or texture where I hadn't anticipated it. So it's valuable to keep around for the time being, and I'll eventually integrate it and blend it in or otherwise erase it as needed. But for now, I like it. Ooh, God, I like this drippiness I have going on here. Like, it's just, it fits the narrative of what the creature is in general. So I think I want to keep that. I like it. So this is made up of human parts and goop. Yep, human parts and goop. Totally. Yeah, the mass grave is basically when you first encounter a mass grave, it's in a buried container that has hundreds of bodies just dumped into it, and and as they've rotted in their container over the centuries, and the necrotic energy of Mabar seeps into it through the earth and soil, it fuses all their bodies together into a mass. So hence mass grave. But bodies can separate from this mass, and it basically is like a gauntlet, the video game Gauntlet. It's like a monster generator. Since it's just a compressed mass of corpses, it can just keep peeling off, like bodies can keep crawling out of the mass and then free roam themselves. It's a monster generator. So in that sense, also this will be comprised of all the bodies that got sacrificed during the ritual, and the tentacles ooze goop of it is the coalesced necrotic energy that's being siphoned through Mabar to create the manifest zone. So it's basically congealed evil, kind of like from Time Bandits. It's pure evil. It's just in a goopy state right now, and inside of that goop is where all the bodies got thrown in to be sacrificed to fuel the ritual with necrotic energy, which is explained in the document up in the ritual section. So when it fails, the necrotic mass gets cut off from its energy source in Mabar, and so it's just running on fumes at that point to try to get the Eye of Mabar. This thing manifests if you run away with the eye from the ritual. So the ritual's like, hey, our power sources ran away, and whatever energy it has left, it chases after the eye to try to get it. And so you have to play keep away for 10 rounds, and you could kill the thing or you could just run from it. But if you're in the underground complex, it moves pretty quickly. It can catch up to you, so it might force you to run in a direction that you haven't been before, potentially leading you into other monsters and traps and shit as it goes. So all it wants to do is get the eye. All you want to do is not let it. So I mean that should be pretty obvious when this thing manifests. So anyway, whatever that was about. Yeah, yammer. Let's go up to here. Actually, I think this is where I want to start adding in some a new layer of line arts for the bodies that we're going to have inside here. Let's go with this. Let's go with this tone that we're using here, or this color here, like that. This should do for now. So we're just going to do a bunch of. This is a 15-foot area, so I feel like a person would be like around this big inside that mess. No, actually that'd be 5, 10, 15. So this is about a 5-foot space here. So head, body, yeah, not too far off. Do like that, and then I'm going to increase the size a little bit. It should be more like, probably like that. What's up? I see text. What's the speed of this thing? It's speed's only 30. Not too aggressive. I don't know. I guess saying it's fast might be a misnomer. Excuse me. Yeah, so these are each of these are heads of victims. So we'll flesh these out as zombies, basically healing out of the muck.
I think it would be funny to have throw a Quado face.
Right. Maybe. I'm sure I can find a space for that to manifest. Like here. Little quaddle ears, a little nubby nose. So yeah, let's use this as our base, and then we can drop that down a smidge, and then let's paint over the background. It's basically a different form of this, right? So it's not like I'm breaking new ground here with anything super innovative, but we'll start here like that. This would be a good way to start. Yeah, basically, we have we're one of the we got 7 more tokens like this to do, and then we've got all the little corner illustration pieces. Like we have like this gap in here, right? That's small enough that we could get away with like not putting an illustration in there. But like if it was like this tall, like this, that's the size. We need some sort of spot sketch illustration sort of thing. There's like 9 instances of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 of them. What is this page? This is page 75 that we're working on. Yeah, see, the space is too small for us to need to put some sort of a texture, but if it was a larger space, it's going to look weird that there's not something here, because so much of all these pages is just crammed full of stuff that I need, like anywhere there's a large enough gap that it's like it's large enough to be noticed, but it's too small to actually warrant its own actual full illustration. Going to come up with little things, like little vignette, little spot pieces. I don't know what they're going to be yet, but like maybe plants or like little clusters of like little critters, or who knows. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with them, but I need to do something. So we'll get done with these 7 token illustrations, and then the little corner vignettes, and that should take us to that'll take us into, and pretty close. I bet doing all that stuff will take us close to Christmas. But at the same time, I'm resolving all the maps and the layouts and the hyperlinking of text in the background. I started that process last night, so I still got a lot of stuff. We still have a lot of stuff to do, but we're really, really getting close to being done. It's like done in December is very possible. I've made statements like that before. Like September, it seems like being done is possible, and I keep finding stuff that's wrong, but I've ran out of stuff to find that's wrong, and or needs adjustment or fixing or whatever. I think I'm about out of those. These monster tokens are the last ones like that. So I'm feeling like a late December is a very realistic place at this point for us to think what will be done. But it's going to be what it's going to be, and it's going to get done to where it's going to get done. And I can't rush the process, obviously, and there's no sense in trying to rush the process at this point. I'm already in this deep.
What about symbols in this?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. We're going to have to look at what's going on. I don't have any rules about what they're supposed to be, or any, like, symbols might make sense, or just or plants, like an arrangement of Mabaran plants in a bouquet, or it could be like stray weapons. I don't even know what's on those pages. The pages that need these little things, I don't even know what's on that page that would be complemented. But obviously, whatever I put in those corner pieces, I want to be complementary to whatever's going on the page, or that section of the adventure in general. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out. But I'm excited. It's an open invitation for me to do whatever the hell I want with that space. These skulls seem a little big. Drop them down in size just a smidge. I'm looking forward to seeing whatever it is that these things are supposed to be. But this piece here, the Nexus, the Gate Seal Nexus illustration, that was the last significant illustration that I needed to do in the book. So that is a milestone of completion. All the maps are technically done. I need to create keys for each of them. And that's something that maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll do that on screen. That seems like an off-screen sort of activity. It's not particularly creative. It's just selecting squares and then labeling them. Not very excited. Maybe I'll do a little bit of on screen just so you guys see what that process looks like. But I don't see myself committing hard to doing more than one stream about that. But I've got like maybe 8 maps that need keys built to them. So it'll be a little work to get them done. That feels pretty good. I think I can be like this.
Something like that. What's up? Vampire the Masquerade just throws little like little splatters, like ink splatters.
Yeah. There'll be no rules. It's just whatever seems fun or appropriate for the particular page that it's on. That'll be what we do. And we'll do that once we finish the creature tokens. And after this one, we've got what? 7. We got 7. The Sturge Mob is like an actual illustration, but not significant. But we've already done all of these, but we want to redo them because they look stupid right now. They're kind of campy, silly. The tone has grown darker appropriately over the course of creating the adventure. We made the monster tokens earlier, maybe like a year ago. But the tone of the illustrations are darker and more menacing than what most of these tokens had been initially. So I need to reflavor them or change the intensity of the tokens so that they look more malicious and serious than campy. Like, some of them just look silly. Which was fine for the time being, but now I got to rebuild them because they are just too silly. Do this. So right now I'm just building out the shapes and where the corpses are poking out of the ooze mass. And I don't want them anywhere near complete. Just these little, this carbonite looking sort of affair is specifically, you know, this is the look that I want. And then we'll drop flesh over them, and right now we're just defining the area that these things occupy. Hey, party on, this guy's got a beer. Let's get rid of that. I like that. That looks good. So, question, okay. Do all the skulls in this face forward towards the thing it's chasing, or will some kind of twisted wrapping effect? Probably some, like this one's facing off in this direction. This one's facing off in this direction. This one's facing forward. So I would say from this angle, yes. And they're kind of, I think they're kind of like in a gelatinous mass, so they can pop out in any direction that they want. Like one of the legendary actions that this ooze has is spit out 3 ghasts. So 3 undead can basically step out of this mass and start attacking the team as an ad mob at any time. It's limited to, I think, having 4 ghouls or whatever out at once. So it could drop them in any direction. So they could be facing they could be facing any direction that we want. For now, I'm having them a lot face forward, but yeah, I could see adding in more stuff over here, especially if I start putting flesh on them and faces and stuff. I'll probably want to add some variety to the directions that they're facing in. But for now, we're just laying this down just to start establishing the language and how we want to rearrange these things and blend them in. Good question. I was facing all the skulls outward, and I was like, oh shit, wait. So far, I'm pretty happy with how this is coming along. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to merge these down right now, and then start just smudging this stuff in here just to see what happens. I'm not taking today very seriously. It's 7:30. I've only got about 20 minutes left. I'm gonna put 20 minutes on the block. I had a late start today. Hopefully, I'll be around earlier tomorrow. Yeah, let's just merge this all together into a lump right now. Why not? The Muse wants me to merge them all together. I'm going to merge them all together. I am operating without a net today.
let's do some blending. Like, it's a hot mess right now, but I think it's going to end up making itself into something cool. I've done this. I've jumped off of a cliff without knowing how I'd land often enough in illustrations like this to know that it's probably going to end up okay. And if I want to throw myself off a cliff with this one, then I'll probably land fine. I don't know how. I don't need to. I'm just free falling right now with you guys to find out where this lands. And that's the fun of it. And since I'm my own art director in this project, I have final say on whether it's good or not. I was doing a bunch of freelancing for the original OSR explosion with third-party content producers making D20 content back in the days of 3E before before Pathfinder became an official thing, and it was fun. It was great getting paid to do artwork for people, but it was also a pain in the ass because I wanted a piece to be done and they wouldn't be satisfied with it, so got to go back and keep working on the piece and do that often enough and you start to burn out. So I was like, you know what? I like making books. Like I like being a DM. I like creating things. I like doing this artwork stuff. But during 3rd edition, I never felt compelled to actually create any homebrew content for myself because there was so much stuff being published at such a fast rate that's like there's no reason to homebrew stuff, because if we wait 5 minutes, they'll probably release an official version of whatever it is that we were thinking about creating anyway. So let's just build and work with the stuff that Wizards is actually producing, and when we run out of stuff, maybe we'll build our own things. That was our table's mentality. It's like let's see what we can actually do with the official content that's being published. But 5e is so thin in content compared to what 3rd or even 4th edition was, that it's like, well, I mean, you know, if you have an idea, there's a high chance that there's never going to be something published by Wizards that's going to have anything similar to what you're looking for. So we may as well make our own homebrew content for 5e. There's no real reason not to, and it seems like a large amount of people in the world agree and have been doing so since the release of 5e, me included. I don't know what I was talking about. I honestly don't know why I brought that up. Oh, that's right. So during the early 2000s, during 3rd edition era or the D20 era, I never had any motivation to make my own books, but I learned to not enjoy having an art director or fussy clients, because I got into doing character commissions, and it's like if I take on a commission, it's basically somebody's paying me to do whatever the fuck I want with whatever they want as the subject matter. But I am not interested in doing commissions till completion under the client's specifications. You're basically funding me to make you an illustration. And however I want to do that, that's how I'm going to make it. But when I say I'm done. And I will, of course, take your feedback on what it is that you want in the theme, but I am not going to nitpick with you. If you don't like the belt buckle, fuck off. It's done when I say it's done. And that's the only, I mean, that sounds awfully elitist and harsh of me, but it's the only way I can enjoy doing commissions at this point, is if somebody wants me to make something, I'll make something, but I'm going to make it my way, to my sense of completion, and you're basically just paying for my time to pay attention to what you want instead of what I would otherwise be doing. So yeah, it's a very snobby attitude, but I've got a ton of stuff to do. I don't actually need commissions, but I'll occasionally take one, and it's typically from people that are happy with that arrangement, that want me to do a commission for them because they like where I take stuff. But having said all that, once I realized how frustrated I am with art directors or fussy clients, it's like, how can I keep doing artwork and not have to worry about fussy clients. It's like, well, why don't I start making my own books? Because 5th edition needs it. So how about I just start making my own books and be my own art director and make things so that everything that I do is to my own sense of completion. That's what got me started in making books on the DMsGuild. That I knew that was something I wanted to do, and by the time I had made up my mind, the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica had been published, and it didn't have any. It was an MTG setting without any information about color, like no color mana, no mana mechanics, nothing that made MTG. MTG was in the. I mean, the setting was there, the flavor was there, like the general idea of creatures and stuff, the city and blah blah, but like all of the color mechanics that made Ravnica so cool was not part of the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, which is what got me started actually publishing books on the DMsGuild. It's like, okay, well this is something that I want to fix, because if they haven't done it in Ravnica, they're never going to do it. And Theros and Strixhaven, they still haven't done it. So obviously I was right. They had no intentions of ever introducing color mana into the 5e game engine. I don't know why. Maybe they're afraid of splitting their audience or something. But I think if Wizards had made D&D 5.5 or 6th edition or whatever coded in Magic the Gathering, I think they could have created a new renaissance for themselves. But I'm just a fanboy. What do I know? I'm just a fanboy. So I created a color mana system, and then I illustrated it with a bunch of MTG art, and it was super fucking fun. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, this is where I want to take my creative energies. Let's build books and illustrate them. And that was 7 years ago. I've been making books ever since. Typically 1 to 3 books a year is what I produce, depending on the size and the scale of the project. What's up? Yeah, God, horrible. Yeah, exactly. It's just clients want it exactly the way they want it, and I think that's fair if expectations aren't like so much about commission freelancing is about setting expectations. As the commissioner wants obviously as much production and value as they can get out of their dollars, and we as the producers want to make sure that we're staying on schedule with the time that we had allocated for the project, and very rarely do those two things coincide well. Like, I generally split up my commissions into thirds. The initial stage for the sketch, and then color flats and general doodads and bibobs and details, and then rendering the scale, the texture, the detail, and stuff like that. And I get prepaid. So like you'll pay, like if you're gonna pay me say $300 for a commission, it'll be $100 up front, and then I'll give you a series of sketches, and then you give me another $100, and I take the sketch that you like and I build that out into a flat color rough. And then once we get the color palette locked down and any specific details that are important to the piece at that stage, we'll do an editing pass for that. So that's one of my editing passes on that second stage. And once we're happy with the color palette and the details, then I get my last $100 in this instance for $300, paid up front, do sketches. Choose a sketch you like, and then another $100, and I'll color it. And then after that, during that, you can edit and work with me to get the details that you want. And then another $100, and I'm just gonna tear into it and do as much detail and texture and effects that I want until I say it's done. And at that point, and when I say it's done, that is when it is done. So the only part of the process that the commissioner, the patron, will typically have is at the initial stages when I'm creating sketches. Tell me which one you like, and I can do some revisions there. And then I get to work on rendering out the color, building the palette, and deciding which details are important, like belt buckles or whatever, or like a specific side of sword or something like that. I'll do those edits to get that into place. I'll do one round of edits at that point. And then once the color palette is good, you pay me the last third, and then I get to work, and then when I'm done, I'm done. That way I'm always getting paid first before I start any work, so I can't get scammed. And the fact that I have like 5,000 hours of me completing content here on stream is my accountability. I also like doing my commissions on stream. So generally, if I take on a commission, it means that I've got time on my streaming schedule to actually be able to produce that art here on screen. So my commissioner can drop in the chat and talk to me while we're building it, which is like a much like they could ask to go in a particular direction or whatever. But they actually get to watch me make it, and they get the full recording of all the episodes of me creating their commission. So that also combats any, not like anyone ever think that my artwork is AI or whatever, but it would be ridiculous to think that, because I do so much of my content production here actually on stream. I can take any piece from start to finish, and I will happily do that here on stream with you guys. So that's an accountability factor for me, and just making myself available to the patron while I'm actually producing the art. They can drop in and talk shop with me or whatever. I think that's really fun. I love that. And if I get into a place where I have more people wanting me to do commissions, and I have the space open on my roster to do so, I love that. I think that's a really fun process. But I have to have a ton of control over it, and I generally don't like accepting blind commissions. It's generally going to be from somebody who's already tapped into my channel and become a fan of it. Because at that point, it's not just a transactional arrangement. I prefer when my commissions happen to be from somebody that has already been a fan of the work that I do. I think that lets me take their request a little bit more seriously, and as a fan appreciation sort of thing, and they already know what they're in for if they're commissioning me to do something, because I'm very upfront about this whole process. So we could put a skull up here. Anyway, I'm really rambling this morning. Don't mind me. Hey, what's up, Text? 3 days, $300. I mean, I would do those forest lands, like all the landscape paintings that I've done. I would do a the Ader Academy, the Karnath meadow, the Druid Forest. That Nexus Golem that you saw, those are all illustrations I would do like for $300, and I would be willing to spend 2 weeks of time on stream doing it, which would be about 10 hours, maybe about 10 hours worth of content. So $300 for about 10 to 12 hours worth of work, something like that. If I just sat down and just did it start to end, then yeah, with 3 days would be really easy. But streaming, I would break it up into like 1 or 2 hour segments, right? Like 10 streams at an hour and a half each. So that actually ended up being about 15 hours. That for $300, that's reasonable, because it's not only just the actual commission, me being paid for the commission. It's also content that I get to stream on here and find and for people to find me what I'm doing. So I don't have to charge ridiculous amounts of money for a commission if it's something I get to stream. And like when somebody requests me to do artwork for them, that is part of my question. Like, do you mind if I do this on stream and I talk about this while I do it and we can shoot the shit and stuff? And if they say no, I'm not really interested. It's like, no, this is like an NDA sort of thing. I want you to blah, blah, blah. I've had clients like that, and I'm like, I'm not really interested, because if I'm gonna burn 15, 20 hours of time to build this for you, you're now making me do it off stream. So now I have to change my private production time to accommodate your request. And you're not even interested in me promoting it for you online while we're doing it. It's like that doesn't seem to align with my goals. Like I've done a number of commissions and paintings that I've done has been as a like a skill swap. A lot of times I'll trade editing services. I'll trade illustrations for editing. It's like if you edit my book for me, I'll do 2 illustrations for you. And then I get to talk about their book and what it is that I'm building for them on stream to hype up their stuff. And meanwhile, they're doing production for me. So I actually enjoy that process. I've done a number of art swaps in the past, or trade swaps like that in the past, and they've always been very satisfying. Like the Adventures in Chronomancy book cover that I did. I did that in exchange for some book editing and some technical advising. The Abyssal Machine commission that I did. That was in exchange for some of the work in this book. I did a landscape painting in exchange for technical editing for the Spelljammer book that I built. I did on Dice Try's channel. I did a YouTube painting for Dice Try, in exchange of him promoting my color mana system to his audience. That was actually a really fun trade. I respect Dice Try a lot. I'm courting the idea of asking if I could pay him to create a color alignment chapter, like an 800-page essay on how the 5-color mana system can be used as alignment in D&D instead of the chaos, the good, evil, law, chaos grid. I like the 5-color personality system a lot, and he's done multiple YouTube videos about the color pie and personality and how to express them as characters, and I think it'd be fun to commission him to make a short essay that I can drop into the revised color mana book that we're building for 2024. To have like the structure, like the player's handbook, like classes first, and then races, and then feats, and then your personality and characteristics, like background. That's where backgrounds and alignment and stuff like that goes. So that's one of the things I like to do. I would love to give Chris some money for an essay like that. I just think it'd be a lot of fun. So that's one of the ideas I'm playing with right now. I haven't asked him yet. I don't know if he'd be interested or not. But I liked working with him before. It was a lot of fun. And I'd be happy to do so again. Oh, shit. It's my timer. I have a YT channel called Dyson Heists. But we only did a few sessions, and there's near nothing on it. I've considered reviving it, but I don't know what I want. That's an awesome Dyson Heists. That's a fucking great name, man. Well found. Good job. Love that. Sounds like a let's play or live stream for Blades in the Dark. Or the leverage RPG. I don't know if I like this little tentacle up here or not. We're gonna leave it there for now. But I've technically ran out of time. I'm going to end up whinging on this tomorrow, probably through Tuesday. I suspect we'll be working on this for the next few days. But man, I'm really liking where this is going already. I know it's just monotone. But we'll grab some zombie art and flesh up these faces and stuff. But I'm really, really liking how this fade is going on here right now. Like, this is a cool effect. So I want to lean into this for a little while and see where it takes us. Hey, it's Thursday, so I'm going to be back on tonight later on. We're going to be continuing to work on the Spelljammer Mecha Kaiju. Last time, on Monday when we were here earlier, we figured out the mecha systems and how to build all that stuff. And so we're going to work on Kaiju tonight, and we're going to work on. We still have 3 communities in our cluster to flesh out. So we're going to flesh out a couple of those. We're going to build out some Kaiju. We might get into disciplinary testing of mechanical balance between the size of the Kaiju and our mecha damage output. I think they're going to balance around. I think where the team is at, they can deal with 50 and 100 foot scale Kaiju, and we'll be able to ratchet up the size as we go along. But yeah, that's going to be it for this morning. And yeah, I know, right? It's very Nightmare Before Christmas. But but you can see the curve, right? Like there's an actual swish here that's happening. Like that's not a bad shape. It's honestly not horrible. We'll see. This is just a preliminary. We'll see if it stays or not. Like me getting rid of that, I could see me getting rid of it as well. Like this isn't bad either. It's not a bad shape. But we're going to keep that in place for now just to keep it there. But okay, great. We're going to go ahead and cut stream here for now. I'm really looking forward to continuing this. This is a very intuitive flow sort of illustration that we're working on right now. Not a lot of rules, not a lot of constraints, a lot of just letting the pixels push themselves to where they want to be. And I love working on these kind of pieces. So I'm really excited to be working on this with you guys in the next few days. Tomorrow for sure, probably Monday and Tuesday as well is when we'll get it done. I'll be back tonight at 6:30, which is about 10 and a half hours from now. We'll be back on for the Spelljammer stuff for a little while. And then tomorrow we'll be back doing this. And on Saturday morning, we're going to be working on the Martial Powers playtest content. We're going to be updating the Ranger and looking at the Beastmaster, combining the Drake Warden and the Beastmaster together just to have one pet summoner class that will then be able to extrapolate into a sustained power so that our Barbarian, for instance, would be able to summon a pet. It wouldn't be as good as the Ranger because the Ranger is going to have a bunch of subclass features dedicated to making those summoned companions stronger, better, more useful, more utility. But we'll be able to extrapolate that as just a sustained power of like summoned companion that any martial character